What's good, my little community? Welcome back to another lovely, beautiful, sexy, amazing video with the equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing LiTTy. You already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now, guys, I'm not gonna lie. The question that I have for you today is, why is no one talking about Chip's new album? Now, if you don't already know, last week both Chip and Fredo dropped their latest project called Snakes and Ladders and Money Can't Buy Happiness, respectively. And as far as I can see from, the social media reactions, from people I've obviously spoken to, even people on, things like Clubhouse, Twitter, all this and that, it seems like no one, well, I don't want to say no one, but it seems like a high majority of people don't seem interested in Chip's new album. Like, when I'll bring it up, like, did you listen to Chip's album? They're all like, no, like, they couldn't be bothered, or that they don't care about listening to a Chip album. That's what I was hearing a lot. I'm not saying that's what everyone thinks, but that's what I was, hearing as I was moving through the social cemetery, so to speak. And it just feels like it just came and went, and that it's been, smuggled under the rug or something like that. I don't even see any of the songs in rotation on places like Who We Be or other UK Spotify playlists or Apple Music playlists. I mean, definitely not as much as the Fredo songs that I've seen on there, that's for sure. And yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna break down what the meaning behind this could be. But you already know what you gotta do. You just gotta like, comment, subscribe to keep up to date every time I drop a banger like this one, and hit that noti, because you ain't in the E, so you can be the first to know when one of these videos comes out. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did, of course, check out Chip's project because music is my thing. And it was decent. I'm not going to lie. It had a few, good songs on there. Chip's lyrical ability was maintained throughout, of course. I think there was even a song where he was, speaking patois and the whole time. And he had some Jamaican guy in the background saying something like, "Give me the mac and cheese."
I don't know what kind of herb from Jamaica you've been smoking, but that is disgusting crap.
So he said something like that. I don't know. He said something like that. So yeah, he had his hat in the ring, I'm not gonna lie, but it just doesn't seem to have landed in the way that he would have hoped and that I would have hoped, because I am a fan of Chip. And obviously, when we get the charting numbers for the UK next week, we'll know for sure how well the album was received and if people were really listening to it or not. But I think I have a reasoning for why it's not the topic of conversation right now, like Fredo's album is currently. I think the main thing that this all comes back to is brand. I think that Chip's brand, and this is not necessarily a bad thing by any means, but I think that Chip has consciously and unconsciously branded himself as a lyrical venomist, for loss of a better word. He's just a lyrical animal. We all see it, we all know it, we all know that no one wants it with Chip. That's what everyone says. No one wants it with Chip. You don't want it with Chip. When it's bar for bar, Chip is unmatched. Chip is just that guy. But I feel like people don't look at Chip as like one of those experienced type of artists, like a Dave or a Stormzy or someone like that. Like, I don't feel like they look at him in that way, as where they're going to listen to his project and it's going to, be an experience and be a journey and stuff like that. I don't want to get misconstrued when I say that. Of course, Chip is an artist. He's a great artist and he gives those, you can get that experience from his music. But I kind of mean it in the sense of, we don't really look to Chip for, I guess, records is the word I'm looking for, if you get what I mean, like radio records or club records. Like, you'll rarely hear a Chip record in the club or on the radio, because he doesn't really make that type of music, at least not now anyway. Let's be real, like, a lot of Chip's biggest songs recently anyway are diss tracks. I'm just keeping it a buck. If you go on his YouTube, I guarantee the biggest songs is probably the diss tracks to Bugsy Malone or to Youngin, or one of the two. They're probably up there at least. They might not be at the top, but they're definitely fighting for that top position.
Yeah, that's true. Now let's go back to my nigga on the floor.
And that just seems like the kind of arena that he's placed himself in. So when it's time for you to drop a diss track on someone and he posts up the petrol station and all this and that, people are going to flock. They'll flock in millions, because they already know it's going to be straight bars, straight destruction, and it's going to be like, oh my gosh, Chip destroyed him, da da da. You don't want it with Chip, you don't want it with Chip. You know how it goes. Everyone's just reacting to it. But however, when it comes time to actual, songs and records, at least when Chip's on his own, you don't really see that same similar type of support, or at least maybe support's the wrong word. Maybe longevity is probably the better word. Unless it's a song which is with a feature, in which case the featured artists are obviously bringing their fan base and their fan base's support and longevity to the song as well. So it does have an opportunity to last, as we've seen with songs like him and Mist on Marijuana. That was a good song that did his thing as well. And he had that song with SL, I think it's called Jeans or something. I like that song as well. And that had a bit of radio play as well. So he does have some of those songs as well. And then now when you put all of those things into perspective for when he's dropping a whole album, an album with over 21 songs, just to add that in. And a lot of those songs may not necessarily be in line with that lyrical venom brand that he's, subconsciously branded himself as. People love when Chip drops bars, of course. But in terms of, songs that need to have replay value to make an album, worth a listen. Not saying this album wasn't worth a listen, but to make people believe that it is worth a listen. I feel like in Chip's case, that sort of replay value is kind of only obtained when he's going against someone and people know that the lyrics that he's saying are actually affecting another human being on a deeper level. Because he drops bars and people love when he drops bars, but you kind of would prefer if you hearing the bars and the bars are at Stormzy, rather than you're just hearing a song with bars on it and he's saying, these people can't end me, these people can't do this, do that, I'm better than did it. Like, everyone, people love hearing names. They love knowing that the bars are being directed at someone. And that's where this whole subliminal thing came about and all this and that, because everyone's looking through the lyrics like, oh, well, that could be a shot at this person, or that could be a shot at that person. No one just wants to hear, bars that, send shots, but you don't know who the shots are sent at. Like, you don't want to just be firing, and no one wants to hear someone firing blanks, basically. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Chip is a legend. He's solidified, and if I'm perfectly honest, I really don't think he needs to do anything anymore. I think that there's no more music that he could really give us. I think there's literally nothing left for him to prove. He's shown out in all aspects. He's shown us that he's a lyrical venomist and that no one can test him, no one can go against him. And I just don't see what else he could do personally. He's given us music for the past 15 years or something like that. So I don't really know what's left for him to do. But yeah, that's really why I feel like Chip's album's being left out the convo this week. His brand is not an album artist kind of brand. It's a diss track brand, if I'm being honest. He's branded himself as that guy that will end your career if you come for him. So just leave him alone. And that brand works for him, of course. It's worked for him for when he's dropping songs, when he's doing features. It worked for him because everyone wants to hear Chip drop that fire verse. But when it comes to making a whole body of work and getting people excited and anticipating your whole body of work and listening to it throughout and actually talking about it with other people, it's unlikely that he will receive the same level of attention. But let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me, and do you agree that Chip's brand is not necessarily as an album artist and more as a diss track type of artist or a bar, just straight bars type of artist? Or do you think that I'm lying, I'm chatting a whole bunch of wass, everyone listened to Chip's album, it was the best thing in the world, and I don't know what I'm talking about? Maybe not in those words exactly, maybe some nicer words. Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subs. You already know what time it is. You can follow me on my IG at LiTTyENT__ for all your music scene updates. Follow me on my personal at the only LiTTyENT. If you care about what I do, we're not making these bangers for you. I post updates on Twitter as well, so you might as well follow me on there, because what else are you doing with your life? Absolutely nothing, mate. Stay black, and if you're not black, stay whatever race you are. I bet. Peace.
Oh, you ain't know I could sing?